Hey guys, and welcome to a new pen to film tutorial, and in this tutorial and series of tutorials I'm going to talk about mixing a song. Now I'm going to show you how I mix a song, and hopefully you can learn a few tips along the way. I'm not sure how I'm going to space these parts out because mixing a song from scratch does take a while. I'm going to try and do it the best I can, the fastest I can as well, so I don't bore you guys. So it will be a series of tutorials where I take one things at a time. So this song is an Andrew Cole song that I'm mixing, and it sounds a little like this. Just unmute the vocals. Vocals are still not coming in.
Can you smell roses like candy?
So this is how the song sounds. You can find this song on a website which offers free sessions for you to download free of charge. Again, I can't say free enough because it is a great deal and a great help that they've done this to help people like you who want to learn how to record songs, mix these songs for practice. So they've put this song up. It's like 700 meg. You can download it for free, import it into any DAW you want, because it's a WAV file, and I should hope that all digital audio workstations support that format. And you can mix it to however you want. You can add, you can take away, you can edit, you can mix, master, and actually you can showcase it as your mixing abilities if you want to set up a portfolio. Although you probably will have to get in touch with Andrew Cole. I'm not sure what the song's called, but I will post a link in the description so you can download it, possibly follow along if you want, and if you're happy with your mix, you can post it in the description below so we can all listen to it. And if you need any advice on where you're going wrong and why it doesn't sound right, you can ask me personally through email, which is pentofilm@gmail.com. Attach it if it's under 3 meg, upload it to SoundCloud if it's over 3 meg, so it doesn't kill my bandwidth. Thanks. So that's another reason I set this series up, is because I want to help you guys as much as you're helping me by subscribing and commenting. Please comment more, because it really helps know where I'm going, if I'm doing a good job or not. Although these people who keep saying I sound like Severus Snape, I don't get this. I do not sound anything like Severus Snape. Anyway, enough of random babbling on now. Let's get into it. Now, to save time, I've already color-coded everything and named everything. I've got my vocal lead, vocal background, guitars, my pianos, drums, and my vocals I like to do in teal. Guitars in yellow, piano, purple, pink, whatever. Guitars in green, my bass in orange, and then my master and submix is in red. This is so I know what's going on. I do this to every single session of mine. I colour them that way so I know where everything is. I order them the same way. I've got my vocals on top, then I have my guitars, my pianos, my drums, and then I have my basses. So I know where everything is no matter what session I go into. Another thing I've done to save time is set the levels, because it is really time consuming to set levels. But basically what you want is, you want to set your levels to a good level where everything's balanced really. You can hear everything, everything's nice and even. It is really time consuming when you have this many instruments, believe me. I did a tutorial earlier on how you can set the levels, but I played back my video and I had no sound, so I was like, you know what, they're already set now, I'm not going to do it again. Because it took me 20 minutes to set all the levels properly and pan everything. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pan these, because that's one of the things I undid. So I'm going to pan my floor tom to the left, no, to the right, sorry. My rack tom to the right. My hats to the right, further than the rack tom. My overheads hard left and hard right, as they are, and everything else in the centre. Then I got my guitars, my acoustics here. One is panned hard left, hard right. Then I got my DI and main guitar in the center. I got electric guitar 1 and 2, left and right, not so much hard panned. And I got a guitar in the center which has a bit more grunt to it. So let's start with the kick. I'm going to add a compressor to my kick, then an EQ, and then see where it takes me from then on. So let's listen to the kick first and see, let's listen to what whoever recorded it is trying to get through to us, okay? Another thing, I've got them all routed to my auxiliary track here, which I'm going to name drums. So let's listen to the kick and try and figure out what the engineer who's recording is trying to get the message across. So to me, that sounds like he wanted a really thick kick drum. One that sits in the bottom of the mix and drives everything along. A really thick doof, doof. So we're going to try and help him with that idea by adding a compressor. Now in this I've limited myself to using only DigiDesign plugins to show you that you can do mixes without having to buy all these fancy like Waves plugins for like £1,500. You don't need them, believe me. You can make great mixes with the DigiDesign or Cubase plugins. I know a lot of engineers out there like Dave Pensano. Sorry if I said your name wrong. He's a very top engineer, mixing engineer, who records and mixes for people like Snoop Dogg and other people like him. Bit of my English coming out there. So if they can use DigiDesign plugins, so can we, the people at home, mixing for low clients. Well, you don't tell them they're low clients, you tell them they're the best ever. Just a hint. Okay, so we're going to add a compressor first. A DigiDesign compressor, really good, really transparent compressor. And it does exactly what I want it to do. I'm going to show you a little trick. So, if you just want some of the attack through to get some of that grunt through as well, you can set your threshold all the way down to -60 dB. Set your ratio to around 6 or 7. I'm going to go for 7.2. And then turn your attack all the way down and your release all the way down as well. Turn your gain up because it will get quite quiet. And then as you play, just raise the attack until you start hearing the click of the beater coming through, and then you're set. That's where your bass is. So you can hear there, it's really gritty as well. The kick, the beater is starting to snap through there. So we're going to turn our gain down. Turn our release up. Turn our threshold down. Soften our knee just a dB. So there you go, you've got a really meaty kick coming in now. So I'm going to do something you should never do. Copy and paste plugins, because I want to keep this tutorial short. So now we've got a really meaty kick. Now you want to focus on EQing it to also enhance that meat. No, not the bacon, the beef. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my god, I should be in bed by now, it's 3:30 in the morning. So I'm going to drop some around 300-ish, like so. Just bring up some mid-range, the high mid-range, like so. Then we've got a good foundation right there. I'm going to copy and paste again, slap my wrists, I'm sorry. So we have a hell of a kick coming on there. It's got a lot of beef to that, or bacon, whatever.
Can you smell
I'm just going to mute these vocals for a sec. You can really hear the kick punching through there. Now let's work on the snare. We're going to compress it in the same way we did our kick, but bringing the threshold all the way down and doing that again. You want the really snappy kick, snare. especially for the bottom of the snare. So there we go, we've got a really snappy snare coming on. Copy and paste again. Another thing I like to do is what I forgot to show you. I like to add a one-band EQ and make it so it cuts off or high passes out frequencies below 130, 120. Because I keep getting questions asking, how do you get such clear mixes? Well, to be honest, I've been doing this for ages now. I've been EQing out all the frequencies below 130 on all the tracks except the kick and the bass. Now, that isn't the only factor involved with making, that isn't the only factor in muddy mixes. There's also the mid-range problem you've got to worry about as well, but that's a whole different topic. That's more complicated. So by doing that, you start to clear up some of the low end, which builds up, and it frees a lot more of the instruments out. So I like to put that on all tracks except kick and bass, in this type of genre of music anyway. House music, dubstep and all that kind of need the bass, because that's, well, especially dubstep, since that's the only good thing going about it. I'm in a really ranty mood tonight, aren't I? So next we're going to add another EQ on top of that, on top of the compressor. A 4-band, I think. Now we're going to bring some more of this beta crack out. Another thing to take note of is cut before you boost. It sounds a lot more natural, and if you can get away with it, don't boost at all. Boosting makes things sound unnatural, whereas cutting, you're not really pushing something that isn't there. You're cutting out something that might or might not be there, which, either way, is a win-win situation if you're using it right. So now listen to the snare. Got a really snappy, cracky snare there, saying, I'm here, listen to what I'm doing. Now we got the hi-hats. Now the hi-hats in this song are quite difficult, because they are very, they're not common in this song, almost as, whoa. I'm going to pause for a second and try and fix this. Okay, we're back. That was weird. So, the toms in this are also very thick and far between as well, so we're not going to bother with them just yet. I will show you when. Anyway, I'm confusing myself here. So, I've highlighted that part, and now we're going to focus on the tom-toms. The floor tom first. Sorry, I was meant to pay attention to the hats. Whoops. Let's put that on loop. So we've got a hi-hats coming in then. So we're going to put that one-band EQ on again. Go to our Digidesign compressor. Okay, and now we're going to add an EQ. I'm really rushing past this now because it's nearly 15 minutes. EQ, 4-band. It's just, whoa. Okay. So we've got a nice hi-hat in there now, crisp as well. Now let's focus on the toms. Whoops. So we're going to put our one-band EQ on there as well. Now you might be thinking, floor toms have a lot of low end. Yes, it sounds nice, but it also adds a lot to the muddiness of the mix. But if we listen to this, you can still hear the low end. There is still quite a bit of low end in that tom, so don't sue me just yet, alright? Let's put a compressor on this. I want a quite soft compressor. So quite a big knee. Oh, say only 4.3 ratio. Okay, just going to copy these over. Sorry about that. And then we're going to put another EQ on. What am I doing? There we go. For the floor tom. Add some of the crack from the beta stick. Just a fraction of the mid-range, low mid-range there. So there we go, we got a really nice floor tom and rack tom going on there. It's really boom, sort of. Anyway, I'm making some really weird noises tonight. So let's just copy these one band EQs over to the overheads. And then we're going to add a compressor. You can probably see how I'm doing things. I always compress before EQ, unless I'm cutting off. Okay, compressors are really funny things to play with. If you're cutting off the low end frequencies before a compressor, it's better to do it before a compressor because low end frequencies mess havoc with some compressors. Like, they make it cut when they don't need to, because low end frequencies, well, it's hard to explain, but they're there, but they're really hard to tell. Which is why compressors have a problem keeping up them, because they have such longer wavelengths than any other frequency. They have huge wavelengths, and compressors don't seem to play well, especially the really cheap ones. Not going to drop any names here, but they have some problems, especially outboard compressors. So we're going to put a knee on this, a really soft knee, I think. One thing I should do is I'm going to bring up these EQ markers. Say around 1k-ish, nearly. Let's just listen to the left one. Yeah, 1k. Okay. So we've got the compressor on this one, so we can mute that one. Long release, long attack. Okay. Now let's add another EQ, 4-band again. Let's just add some air. (3 dB). Take out some. Whoops. Turn that one off. Take out some 2k-ish, like so. So there we go. We've got a nice drum kit sound coming along now. Really nice, balanced, really warm as well. Now for the final thing, I'm going to add a compressor onto the whole kit. This just brings it all together. So I'm going to stick with the 3 ratio. I'm going to have quite a softish knee, 4 decibels. And we're just going to play around with this now. A long attack, a long release. Just so the meter is like trickling in. So it's -2 now. Now, don't forget to save before you lose everything from a power cut or a horse coming in and stealing your computer. I'm too funny for my own good. So, thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope to see you in the part 2, where I'll be starting on the bass and guitars. So, I should hope to see you then. Thanks for watching this tutorial. And again, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.